and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms! And I would like to welcome you all back here to the Lightning Flash update on YouTube.com. You already know who I am, Mr. Controversy! And the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the Lightning Flash update for May 18th, 2018. And I actually have some big news before I move into the weekly show reviews for the week. Today, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Periscope on Twitter.com, I will be a special guest on the Dr. Huge Show. So if you know Dr. Huge, go follow him on Twitter at Dr. Huge Show, and you will be able to see me in a live wrestling debate with Lit Mantis. Now, let's get into the weekly show reviews. Monday Night Raw went back to being 2 to 3 highlights. What else is new? Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax was actually announced for Money in the Bank. Now, I know why they did it. The report came out that the WWE officials do not want Ronda Rousey to miss another pay-per-view, which is understandable. And they don't want to have her lose a qualifying match. They don't want to have her be in Money in the Bank, because then that means she would need to win the match. I do have some news on the creative plans for Money in the Bank for Ronda Rousey specifically when we get to the news, rumors, and reports. But for now, Roman Reigns kicked off the show. What else is new? Wouldn't be Monday Night Raw without Roman Reigns getting booed to kick off the show. He said he wanted Jinder Mahal. Kurt Angle came out and he said that he speaks for WWE management and he will not be gifting Roman Reigns any more opportunities. And surprise, surprise, Roman Reigns got cheers for being denied opportunities. But he's over, right? Roman Reigns then went looking for Jinder, and Roman beat down Jinder, and with every offensive move that Jinder did, he was cheered. When Money in the Bank rolls around and this match takes place, which I have news on why this match is being booked, Jinder Mahal is going to receive the biggest babyface reaction of the night. Guarantee it. But we go from that monstrosity of a segment to a great match between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. This was actually one of the only highlights of the show. This went back and forth. Seth Rollins, man, I don't know how the hell Seth Rollins does it, but he's always finding a way to open people's eyes. He's always finding a way to impress. He did a Falcon Arrow to Kevin Owens on the apron, and Kevin Owens, he's no small dude. He's no small dude. So the fact that Seth Rollins was able to hold Kevin Owens up there before delivering that Falcon Arrow, and the fact that he did it so perfectly and so smoothly, Seth Rollins is easily the best in-ring performer on Monday Night Raw, and probably he may be even surpassing AJ Styles, and that's saying something. But it was a great match. Kevin Owens hit that corkscrew superplex. I love that corkscrew superplex. Near the end of the match, Seth Rollins then countered after Kevin Owens rolled him back in the ring, and Seth Rollins hit the stomp for the 1, 2, 3. Great match, and I hope this Intercontinental Championship Open Challenge continues. I'm liking it. Bobby Roode versus No Way Jose versus Baron Corbin. This was actually a decent match for what it was. Props to all three men. All three men worked very hard in this match, especially No Way Jose. No Way Jose, do not sleep on the guy. No Way Jose has actually been presented in a better way than I thought he was going to be presented. He owns a victory over Baron Corbin. He was involved in this very, very good triple threat match for what it was. It was decent in the overall scheme of things, but it was very good for what it was. These guys went back and forth. No Way Jose hit the crossbody on Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin actually did a running apron clothesline. He hurdled the cameraman to take out Bobby Roode. So Baron Corbin, he's definitely improved, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Baron Corbin does on Monday Night Raw. Bobby Roode won, as I thought he was going to win, and he won with the glorious DDT on No Way Jose, and he's going to Money in the Bank. This was the last highlight of the show, and it was the B Team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, defeating Breezango, and the B Team is over their first match and they're over. So the B team, they're looking to come after Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I like it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a fan of the B team. Why do we have to have another 6-woman tag team match? Why? Well, what is WWE's fascination with 6-woman tag team matches? Why can't we have separate women's feuds? Why can't we have a feud between Ember Moon and Ruby Riott? Why can't we have a feud between Natalya and Mickie James? What's the point? Why do we have to have 6-woman tag after 6-woman tag after 6-woman tag? I did not care, nor did anyone else. Ember Moon, Natalya, and Sasha Banks defeated the Riott Squad. Who cares? Hardy and Bray Wyatt defeated the Revival. Hardy and Bray Wyatt were over, and I would love to see a match between Hardy, Bray Wyatt, and the B team. And, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, they can wrestle. Do not sleep on them. And I would love to see how that match plays out, possibly at maybe Money in the Bank or in the coming weeks on Monday Night Raw. You got to treat the Revival a little better. I would much rather see the Revival versus Hardy and Wyatt for the tag team titles, but I'll take the B team, considering that it's new, it's fresh, and it's entertaining. Sami Zayn ragged on Bobby Lashley, and he plans on exposing the real Bobby Lashley when he invites Bobby Lashley's sisters to Raw next week. I hope we do not get another Alexa Bliss, Bayley, This Is Your Life segment. My God. That was probably one of the worst segments in Monday Night Raw history. Never mind of the modern era. So hopefully we get something entertaining. I mean, Sami Zayn, everything with Sami Zayn's entertaining, but I can't trust WWE on this. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Mickie James. This was an absolute waste of everyone's time. Mickie James and Alexa Bliss continue to be friends for whatever reason that is yet to be explained. Alexa Bliss defeated Bayley and Mickie James, and that was basically it. Alexa Bliss is in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The match last week with Ember Moon, Ruby Riott, and Sasha Banks was way better. Roman Reigns then speared Mahal through a cardboard wall. So, I don't know what they're doing over there with, Roman and Mahal. So, obviously, they're trying to create some interest in which it's all going to fade away and classify itself as obsolete come Money in the Bank, whether you want to admit it or not. Ziggler and McIntyre defeated Balor and Strowman. I actually thought this was going to be a great match, but my God, it was so lackluster. So damn lackluster. And, surprise, surprise, they were in London, so you knew it was going to be heavily edited with the crowd reactions and the fact that it was going to be dialed down. Ziggler and McIntyre win. They really need to put Strowman in a feud with Lesnar and have Strowman win the Universal title. Or better yet, have Balor do it. Have Balor do it. You realize what a win for Finn Balor would do against a guy like Brock Lesnar? I mean, come on. You put it in a no-holds-barred match. That gives Finn Balor an advantage. Use the weapons against Lesnar. Can you imagine if Finn Balor hits a coup de grace through the table? Or multiple coup de grace, or a shotgun drop kick into the barricade using steel chairs and kendo sticks? Do you realize what you will have on your hands? You will have another Daniel Bryan overcoming all the odds to become the Universal Champion. If not The Miz, I would have Balor win Money in the Bank. Balor really needs a win, and he needs something relevant to do. Kevin Owens then defeated Bobby Lashley and Elias in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. He replaced Jinder Mahal because Jinder Mahal got destroyed by Roman Reigns, and that was basically Monday Night Raw. After the B team skit, it was completely lackluster, completely lazy. I mean, come on. You got to do a better job, Vince McMahon. You got to do a better job if you want to get me interested in Money in the Bank. SmackDown, though. SmackDown actually followed up on the decent show last week. SmackDown was actually a good show. So, props to SmackDown Live. Looks like Road Dogg finally stepped down. Bryan kicked off the show, and he was asked about the loss to Rusev. He basically said, I'm going to take losses. I'm going to hit roadblocks, but I promise that I'm going to fight to become WWE Champion again. Cass interrupted, and he just trashed Daniel Bryan and said he was going to ruin Daniel Bryan's career. And then afterwards, Bryan just destroyed Big Cass, and this is probably because of Big Cass not listening to Vince McMahon and, beating down that midget before Backlash. But regardless, Daniel Bryan obviously getting a huge babyface reaction, as I knew he was going to get. Big Cass obviously receiving legit heel heat. Hopefully their next match is better than the first match. New Day defeated The Bar. This was actually a very good tag team match, and it was a Money in the Bank qualifying match. I actually thought The Bar were going to win, and they were going to give Cesaro a push, but they gave it to the New Day. And there's been some reports going around that Big E is going to get the huge push in the New Day, and that could be the spark that ignites the dynamite, which is the implosion of the New Day. So hopefully, like, they actually have a good storyline for the New Day breakup, because I'm genuinely interested to see who they pick. I would like to see Big E. They had another Bludgeon Brothers promo. I'm assuming someone is going to step up and challenge the Bludgeon Brothers sooner rather than later. And if it was up to me, I would pick Gallows and Anderson. Styles promised to beat down Nakamura later in the night because they were going to have a match and the winner was going to choose the stipulation for their Money in the Bank match. Andrade Cien Almas defeated a jobber, and Andrade Cien Almas, man, El Ídolo, La Sombra. You will not find a bigger Andrade Cien Almas fan than me. Let me tell you something. Andrade Cien Almas, I expect big things from him on SmackDown Live, and Zelina Vega took the microphone and said they came to take over. I cannot wait to see who Andrade Cien Almas' first opponent is. If it was up to me, I would actually go with maybe someone like Randy Orton, maybe someone like a Shelton Benjamin, maybe someone like an AJ Styles after he loses the WWE title. But either way, all roads must lead to Almas winning the U.S. title from Jeff Hardy. Lana versus Billie Kay in a Money in the Bank qualifying match was announced for next week. I expect Billie Kay to walk out victorious because she is the superior athlete to Lana. But regardless, I like how they're utilizing all their women. We had a Royal Melibration, and this was, my God, this was a cringy segment. Cringy trash talking, cringy insults. I sure as hell don't care for Carmella. You know, I actually called Carmella to win against Charlotte. Now I'm regretting it. But regardless, my prediction did come true. Paige came out and she said that she will be defending the SmackDown Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. And Paige introduced, who else? Asuka. Nah, not to say I told you so, but I did tell you so. I did call it. So hopefully Asuka wins the SmackDown Women's title at Money in the Bank, and that's it. That's it. Hopefully she has a long, drawn-out run with it. Maybe a match against Becky Lynch at SummerSlam would really do Asuka good. Nakamura said he's going to dishonor AJ, hit him with a knee to the face, one after the other, after the other, after the other, and he's going to take AJ Styles' title at Money in the Bank. Becky Lynch defeated Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. This was actually a decent match, and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville did prove that they actually can wrestle. They each have their own theme music, which is good. I'm actually interested to see where they go on SmackDown Live. But the right woman won, Becky Lynch won, and it was a decent match for what it was, and Becky Lynch is in the Money in the Bank ladder match for the women. Next week, we have Samoa Joe versus Big Cass, and the winner will be in Money in the Bank. So, obviously, we have one member of the New Day, and either Big Cass or Samoa Joe, in which I'm going to be calling Samoa Joe. Who else? Big Cass is going into a feud with Daniel Bryan. He's still in a feud with Daniel Bryan. In the main event, this was a great match, and my God, every single match that AJ Styles and Nakamura has had since WrestleMania has been better than their match at WrestleMania. It's only furthering my theory that Vince McMahon purposely told Nakamura and AJ Styles to hold back so they won't outshine Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And I don't think anyone's going to be able to convince me otherwise. But this was a great match. Great match all around. AJ Styles actually hit a beauty shot. Tyler Breeze would be proud of that. Shinsuke Nakamura hit a knee off the apron, or the knee off the corner turnbuckle to AJ Styles, who was on the apron. Nakamura, playing possum, hit AJ with a forearm right in the back of the neck, hit the exploder, and a beautiful Kinshasa, a full-blown flush Kinshasa. And Nakamura is picking the stipulation, and I do have some news on what the stipulation might be. .205 Live, man. 205 Live continues to get better and better, and we had the UK guys. We had the UK guys joining 205 Live. Tyler Bate was in a Fatal 4-Way match with TJP, Kalisto, and Kenny Williams. Now, Kenny Williams, I was not familiar about Kenny Williams going into this match, but seeing him, we got a little taste of what he's capable of, and I'm very much looking forward to see what he does in the second United Kingdom Championship tournament because he has been announced for it. I actually thought that Kenny Williams was going to win based on the fact that he was the newcomer and they were going to give him the rub, but they had Tyler Bate win. It was a great match for what it was. We had some great back-and-forth action. TJP, man. TJP continues to impress me with these multiple submission holds at one time. He had like a guillotine choke, a sleeper, and a standing figure 4 on all 3 men. Kalisto, I believe, was in the guillotine. Tyler Bate was in like the sleeper or an arm lock. And then Kenny Williams was in an inverted standing figure 4. So TJP, he's a very good technical wrestler. He's a great submission specialist. But Tyler Bate won. It was a great match for what it was. Each and every single person went back and forth. We had some very nice spots. And Tyler Bate won with the Tyler Driver 97. Great match. And Tyler Bate getting the win in his home country. Murphy versus Cedric for the Cruiserweight title in 2 weeks. Murphy, as I've stated before, he has been the picture-perfect definition of a badass heel. Him and Drew Gulak have done absolutely everything right to be the top heels of 205 Live. And Murphy, let me tell you something. I don't think that Cedric should lose the title yet, but Murphy should definitely be considered to be Cruiserweight champion in the future. If it was up to me, I would actually have Murphy win the title probably later in the year, maybe at SummerSlam. Maybe I would have Mustafa Ali take it off of Cedric at SummerSlam, and then you could build up to a match between Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy, probably maybe at the last pay-per-view of the year, maybe at Clash of Champions. I wouldn't mind that. Next week, we also have Akira Tozawa versus Hideo Itami. That should be a very interesting matchup. I'm very much looking forward to seeing who gets the rub in that match. And then in the main event, we have Cedric, Ali, and Flash Morgan Webster. He actually looked very charismatic. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Flash Morgan Webster can do if he gets a future opportunity in the WWE. They defeated James Drake, Joseph Connors, and Drew Gulak. This was a very good match, and let me tell you something. I'm not all that popular with 6-man tag team matches unless they make sense and they actually have a story behind it, but this was a damn good match. And Ali actually won by hitting the 054, and he got the win for his team. So I'm assuming that they're going to be pushing Mustafa Ali into Cruiserweight title contention at some point. Drew Gulak, he's fine where he is. Drew Gulak is absolutely fine where he is. I would like to see a match between him and Tony Nese down the line, because I think that Tony Nese would make a very good babyface against Drew Gulak. But overall, it was a very entertaining match, very good match. Mustafa Ali continuing to impress me. Mustafa Ali never fails to impress. Great episode of 205 Live. On to NXT. NXT. This was a very good episode, and they're doing a great job at building towards NXT TakeOver Chicago. Johnny Gargano's music hits, and I thought that Johnny Gargano was actually back, but Tommaso Ciampa trolling the fans. If there is a definition of what a heel is supposed to be, Tommaso Ciampa is the perfect definition of a true heel. He's the only true heel in the WWE right now. Tommaso Ciampa just coming out and he says, Gargano's gone. I broke his spirit. I broke his heart. I broke his body. He's sitting in a neck brace that I put him in. Candice LeRae then came out. He says that, or she says rather, that Johnny Gargano will always be better than him. And I thought I used to know Tommaso. You're a monster that I'll never forgive. And Ciampa is a wrestling god. He really is a wrestling god. Forget about John Bradshaw Layfield. Ciampa is the real wrestling god. Putting on great matches, and he was trolling Candice LeRae by just rubbing his eyes and you gonna cry? You gonna cry? Tommaso Ciampa was making me laugh my ass off the entirety of that segment, and it ended with Candice LeRae just slapping the grease right off of his bald head. My God, Candice LeRae just unloaded on Tommaso Ciampa. So we are going to get Ciampa and Gargano at TakeOver Chicago. I don't know how they're going to build it, but I already know it's going to be a street fight. Lacey Evans defeated Brandi Lauren. Lacey Evans, very impressive in the ring. She just needs to get a new finisher. But Lacey Evans, very impressive for what she's been doing. And Kairi Sane then attacked. So I'm assuming that Lacey Evans and Kairi Sane are going to be going into a program. We probably won't get it at TakeOver Chicago because Chicago's a rather raucous crowd, and I don't think Lacey Evans is ready for that. Kairi Sane's ready for that. I don't think Lacey Evans is ready for that. So we'll probably get it on the taped episode of NXT, and they'll air it after TakeOver Chicago. Dakota Kai and Nikki Cross had a segment, and Nikki Cross is just trying to hype up Dakota Kai, telling her to face her fear and fight Shayna Baszler. So we could be on the road to getting a triple threat match at NXT TakeOver Chicago. You never know. You never know. NXT always has a way of getting creative. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Lars Sullivan interrupted a match between Ricochet and the Velveteen Dream, and it was turning into a great match. It was turning into a very, very, very good match based on the back and forth, and Velveteen Dream and Ricochet were just trying to one-up each other. He says he's coming for the NXT title, did Lars Sullivan, and this is obviously going to lead towards Sullivan and Black, which I've already reported, for the NXT title at TakeOver Chicago. Kona Reeves, the finest Kona Reeves. I'm a sucker for a cocky heel. I love the charismatic cocky heel, the nonchalant heel, and Kona Reeves is playing it very well. It was a decent match for what it was. Raul Mendoza actually gaining some fans, so good on Raul Mendoza. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they do with Raul Mendoza possibly in the coming months, maybe during the summertime. I hope Raul Mendoza actually gets somewhat of a push because he's a pretty damn good wrestler. But Kona Reeves ended up winning with the Hawaiian drop, and I believe the Hawaiian drop, that's the type of move where your opponent needs to make it look good. I believe that if you have a person who can sell, I'm talking about really sell, then that move will look dangerous. Ricochet and Velveteen Dream wanted Lars Sullivan, and next week we actually have a handicap match. It's going to be Lars Sullivan versus Ricochet and the Velveteen Dream next week. So Velveteen Dream and Ricochet, they're playing this game of one-upsmanship. Now it's taking it to another level against a guy like Lars Sullivan. TM61 versus Heavy Machinery is also booked for next week based on a little confrontation that TM61 and Heavy Machinery had in the backstage, in the bowels of Full Sail University. Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oney Lorcan then defeated the Undisputed Era. This was a good match, a very good six-man tag team match, and with this win, I believe that Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch could be getting an NXT Tag Team title match against Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly at NXT TakeOver Chicago, which I would love. Oney Lorcan's very underrated. He's very underrated, if I do say so myself. The guy has brutal uppercuts. I love his running blockbuster. It's a great move. It's quick. It's effective. Danny Burch, he's great in his own right. Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne. We already know how great Pete Dunne is. And the babyfaces won clean. Burch and Lorcan hit a wheelbarrow DDT, and they won. They've pinned Kyle O'Reilly for the win. So I'm assuming that they will be getting a tag team title match at TakeOver Chicago 2. Now, on to the news, rumors, and reports. My first report has to do with an NXT superstar. Casey from SquaredCircleSirens.com says that he has heard NXT superstar Riddick Moss is out with an injury. So, to those Riddick Moss fans out there, I'm sorry, Riddick Moss is on the shelf just like his partner, Tino Sabatelli. So hopefully they get back very soon. I would love to see them get an NXT Tag Team title shot in the near future. My next two reports come from Mr. Slice Wrestling. Do not forget to follow him on Twitter at Slice Wrestling. And I quote, this was one of his tweets. Report: WWE is discussing a potential Nikki Bella return that would see her possibly have a match at SummerSlam in NYC. So, Nikki Bella possibly returning to the ring over the summer. We're going to see how that plays out. I've never really been a fan of Nikki Bella. I really think that her push was just because of John Cena, and she really hasn't shown too much progression in the ring. But we're going to see how it plays out. Next, another report from Slice Wrestling. Report: current creative plans call for Natalya to cost Ronda Rousey her women's championship opportunity against Nia Jax at Money in the Bank. This is actually a very good idea because it gives Ronda Rousey a legitimate feud, possibly going into Extreme Rules. I think it's way too soon for her to hold the Raw Women's Championship, and if I was booking this, I would actually have Natalya defeat Nia Jax, possibly for the Raw Women's Championship down the line, and Ronda Rousey gets her revenge by winning the title off Natalya. Or what they could do is they could have a Ronda Rousey Natalya feud. They could have a Ronda Rousey Natalya feud going into Extreme Rules, and Nia Jax can lose the championship to Ember Moon. Now, what could happen is you could have a match between Nia Jax and Bayley, or Nia Jax and Sasha Banks, Nia Jax and Ruby Riott at Extreme Rules, and Ember Moon could have the Money in the Bank briefcase in her back pocket. And after that match at Extreme Rules, Ember Moon swoops in, hits the Eclipse on Nia Jax, and Ember Moon becomes the Raw Women's Champion. Ember Moon has a long, drawn-out reign with the title, and we possibly get Ember Moon versus Asuka at Survivor Series. And then after that, Ronda Rousey, she can win the Raw Women's title at the Royal Rumble of next year, and obviously Charlotte can win the Royal Rumble, and they can have Ronda Rousey and Charlotte at WrestleMania next year. Speaking of Ronda Rousey, WKBW in Buffalo, New York reports that Ronda Rousey will make her Buffalo in-ring debut at the Monday, July 16th Raw show from the Key Bank Center. So, for those Buffalo wrestling fans out there, if you want to see Ronda Rousey compete, now's your chance. Go get tickets if they're still on sale. Go get tickets. Gonna witness a big night. My next report comes from Cage Side Seats. Cage Side Seats reported that an Iron Man match is currently being discussed as a possible stipulation for AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at Money in the Bank. I like this. I like this a lot. This has a lot of potential. You put these two in a 30-minute Iron Man match, you could possibly have a show stealer. A real show stealer that you should have gotten at WrestleMania. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura putting on an Iron Man match. Obviously, there's been reports of a Last Man Standing match being discussed, so either one would be great. Either one would be great, but regardless, Nakamura needs to walk out the champion. Nakamura should walk out the champion, and if I was booking this, I would have Nakamura win the title and possibly hold it till SummerSlam, or he could hold it until, what's the September pay-per-view? Like Hell in a Cell? I think the September pay-per-view might be Hell in a Cell. He can hold it till Hell in a Cell, and you can have Daniel Bryan lose at SummerSlam. You can have Daniel Bryan get a rematch at Hell in a Cell. Daniel Bryan defeats Shinsuke Nakamura. The Miz cashes in. You realize how great that would be? Daniel Bryan defeating Nakamura inside Hell in a Cell to become the WWE Champion, and the moment is just taken away from him, just robbed from him by The Miz. Realize how great that would be? It would make for a great storyline. It would make for fantastic television. It would be great all around. So I really hope they go that route. My final report of the Lightning Flash update for today. According to Wrestling News Now, Roman Reigns will face Jinder Mahal at Money in the Bank, if you didn't already know. Reason why is because Vince McMahon thinks Roman will get cheered since Mahal receives heavy boos. And if you need any more reason of why Vince McMahon needs to step down as CEO, this is the reason right here. Roman Reigns is not going to get cheered. Anyone with a brain will realize that Jinder Mahal will go into that match as the babyface, and he will go into that match the most over babyface of the night. In Chicago, of all places. And do you realize that that match, after the first 2 minutes, the crowd is going to shit all over that match. The crowd's going to shit all over it. It's going to start chanting, "This is boring." We're going to hear CM Punk chants. I guarantee we're going to hear CM Punk chants. We're probably going to get Beach Ball Mania. We're going to see the Wave. Regardless, it will not get either man over. Except for Mahal for maybe about 2 minutes. As soon as Mahal starts delivering the offense, Mahal is going to be everyone's favorite superstar. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every one of you who tuned into this video. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheDJStorms. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to comment. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget, like I said in the beginning of the video, the Dr. Huge Show. Go follow Dr. Huge on Twitter at Dr. Huge Show, and his Periscope live stream podcast on Twitter at 7 p.m. Eastern Time today. Me, the one and only DJ Storms, Mr. Controversy in a wrestling debate. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms, and this has been the Lightning Flash Update. I will see you later tonight.